Warm welcome to this lecture series on organizational behavior. We are in this chapter on motivation, and this is going to be our fourth lecture in this chapter. I'll quickly summarize what happened in the previous lectures. We defined motivation. We also looked at the basic process involved in motivation. We elaborated on this particular concept called need, because that is a very fundamental idea in motivation. So we discussed about needs and what are the different types of needs, what are motives. More specifically, we spoke about psychological motives. We also spoke about conflict as a motivating factor. We discussed about the role of money as a motivator and also the dangers of using money as the sole motivating factor in workplace. We also looked at theories on motivation. Those theories are classified into content theories and process theories. Content theories talk about what kind of elements or what kind of factors motivate people. Process theories talk about the process of motivation, how motivation happens among workers. In the last class, we stopped with this particular theory called Maslow's theory of need hierarchy. It's also called as Maslow's hierarchy of needs theory. We looked at this theory from a social psychology point of view and also organizational behavior point of view. We also discussed about some of the criticisms on this theory and also its application in organizational context. This was the last slide which I showed in the previous lecture. I wanted you to look at this list, and I said I will talk about this list and its relevance to motivation process in workplace. So if you would have looked at this list, there are many factors. There are 12 factors which are given in this list. And if you want to club them together, how would you club them? Okay, just think for a minute. And if you have to group them 2-3 into one category, how would you categorize these list or the factors in the list? Okay. Maybe quickly, if when you looked at it, you would have seen words like job, work condition, boss, all those things. Okay. So primarily this list has, if you want to group things in this list, it has items or questions or statements on job related issues like interesting job, job security, job responsibility, opportunity for advancement. Even though there is a job is not mentioned, but it talks about the job. Recognition, appreciation for the work I do. So it's also about the job. There are also statements about people like good boss, good working conditions. So working conditions means people around you. Satisfying personal life, which is also in your work condition, how satisfied are you? Okay, you are. And also there are some questions on rules and regulations like sensible company policies, regulations, all those things. So if you want to broadly group them, I would group them into two categories. Things related to job, things which are very specific to the nature of the work, and then other factors or other statements related to the context. Context means apart from job, the environment or the conditions in which you work. So which one do you think is more important for job motivation? Is it the job which is important, or is it the working conditions which are important? Just think for a minute. So let's say the working conditions are extremely good. Okay, you work in a multinational company, everything about the place is good. You get a good salary, you get a very posh office, all the facilities are excellent, but your job is boring. Okay, this is one condition. Other way around, your job is like a very meaningful job, very challenging job. There's a lot of opportunity for you to show your capabilities and also recognition in the job, but the office is in a very bad shape. You don't have enough facilities. People around you are not very helpful. The working conditions are like pathetic. Which kind of organization would you prefer? Okay, just think about it. In fact, this is what the next theory talks about. It's called Herzberg's two-factor theory. So these two factors, factors related to working condition, which are called hygiene factors, and factors related to actual work is called motivators. Okay, so according to this theory, lack of or absence of dissatisfaction doesn't mean that you are satisfied. So in other words, if you are not dissatisfied, doesn't mean that you are happy. Okay, so there is a difference between not dissatisfied and satisfied. Okay, so not dissatisfied is neutral. You are neither satisfied nor dissatisfied. Okay, so these hygiene factors, these background factors like good working condition, your job is very secure, company policies are very employee friendly, you have facilities for child care, you have facilities, there's a gym inside, there is a swimming pool inside your organization, there is a wonderful cafeteria in your company, and you get very nice food for very low price, your supervisors are very friendly, people around you are friendly, everything is fine. Okay, but having all these things will not make you happy in your work. Okay, these factors are called hygiene factors because these are fundamental factors, very basic things a person requires in their workplace. So if they don't have this, obviously they will quit. Okay, so if people around you are bad and your pay is pathetic, you're not getting enough pay, your supervisor is like always yells at you, you'll obviously leave. Okay, but let's say everything is there, all these things are there, you will be happy about your organization but not about your work. You might be happy about working in that particular organization, but you may not be motivated. Okay, so having all these factors helps people or helps organizations to retain good employees. Retain means if you want to keep good people to stay in your organization, you don't want them to leave, then you have to provide all these conditions. But again, if you provide all these conditions, doesn't mean that they will work better. Okay, they will not leave the organization, but to work better or to motivate them to perform to their fullest, you need something else. So that is what is motivators. So motivators, if you see, all of them, almost all of them are about job. The work should be meaningful, the work should give opportunities for a person to grow. The work should have enough responsibilities which should make the person feel that they are important. It should not be a routine job, a job which makes them feel they are responsible. So sense of responsibility also involves sense of impact. So whatever I'm doing is creating an impact. So when will people feel responsibility in work, which means when will a person feel the work involves responsibilities? Only when they see the impact of the job on something else. Okay, so somebody is doing a very routine job, just taking photocopy and typing letters. So you may not feel, even though you are paid well, you don't feel the work is having any impact on anyone. Okay, similarly, lack of personal growth, you will feel the work is a dead end. You cannot do it beyond a certain point. Recognition, the work has lot of growth opportunities, the work is meaningful, but nobody recognizes your effort. Nobody says good job. You're doing it very well, but nobody actually notice you. Okay. And also sense of achievement. Sense of achievement means you should feel happy that I've achieved something, which also means the work should have clear-cut results where the person should claim, the person can claim responsibility for that achievement. Okay, so the results should be in a way that, results of the job should be in a way that the person can identify that particular achievement and say, I own this achievement. Okay, certain jobs, let's say in an assembly line kind of a work. Okay, so your job, you just doing the same thing again and again. For you there is no sense of achievement, no sense of recognition, no sense of personal growth. You will obviously feel dissatisfied. Okay, so hygiene factors are fundamental factors, basic factors. Every company should give that or provide those factors. Otherwise, many people will leave the organization. So you are retaining them. Let's say you are providing everything, you are retaining people. In order to make people work better, you need to design work in a way that it is meaningful, it is it has personal growth, it has sense of achievement and things like that. Okay, if you want to connect it to the previous theory, Maslow's theory, how would you connect these two theories? Do you see any connection between these two theories? Just think for a minute. If you remember, in Maslow's theory we looked at many needs. So do those needs match with this particular theory? Okay, I think many of you can see the connection. The hygiene factors are similar to the basic needs. So whatever is there in the hygiene factors are nothing but factors like job security, which is security need, pay, which is basic need. Pay helps you satisfy your biological needs, food, water and all those stuff. And also to some extent belongingness needs, which is second, acceptance from your co-workers, interpersonal relationships. So these three in Maslow's, the bottom three in the Maslow's are similar to hygiene needs. Motivators are the next two, the self-esteem need and self-actualization need. If you can see the connection, you will understand. Okay, so those two needs are very important for employees so that they get motivated and then they perform better. Okay, so let's say motivating factors. Okay, when the organization can offer only motivating factors, the job is like meaningful, job is personal growth, opportunities are good, but let's say hygiene factors are not there, what will happen? Obviously people will leave. Okay, even though they like the job, they don't get enough support in the organization to perform. If that is the case, nobody will be willing to stay in the job. Okay, so they can get similar jobs in other contexts, other organization where conditions are better. For example, you teaching job or a counselor job. It's a very meaningful job. It's a very high impact job. People recognize you, respect you and everything. But let's say your college or your school as a teacher where you are working, or if you are a doctor, the hospital where you are working is treating you pathetically. Will you still stay in that hospital as a doctor or a teacher in a school? No, you will leave that organization. You will find a similar job in some other organization which will offer you that kind of a job, but with better working conditions. Okay, so the advantage of having this theory, or the positive thing about this theory, is this classification. So earlier people thought, in this list everything is like equally important. No, it's not like everything is like equally important. Some things are more important than other factors. And also this classification that lack of dissatisfaction doesn't mean people are satisfied. Okay, Because many organizations, what they will do is, they will try to retain people through wonderful working conditions, good cafeteria, good pay. Things like good pay will not help people stay in the organization for very long. You may retain a person by saying, we'll give you retainee bonus. There's something called retainee bonus. If you stay there for 2-3 years, they will pay you money after 2-3 years, even without your performance criteria. Okay, but that doesn't work. Okay, so whatever you pay beyond a point, if the work is not interesting, people will never stay in the organization. So that is where the role of HR, role of human resource management, is not just about giving better working conditions to people. In fact, many organizations treat HR managers like event managers, event management people. Event management means you create birthday celebrations, you design performance evaluation structures. So they are not just people who create better work conditions, HR managers. HR managers are also people who can contribute a lot to designing meaningful jobs. So designing meaningful jobs, job design, that's what they call in human resource management, involves a lot of thought process. It involves a lot of effort in understanding how a job can be enriched. In fact, in human resource management, there is a concept called job enrichment. Okay, so in fact, job enrichment is all about making a job more meaningful and more interesting to employees who do that job. Okay, so this particular theory has a lot of implications for human resource management. Okay, so in fact, the list which I showed earlier is a questionnaire. So what I want you to do is just rate them in terms of each statement. If you agree to them, you rate them in terms of 1 to 5 scale. For example, interesting job, you give 1 if it is not at all important to you. You give 5 if it is very important to you. You give 3 if it is moderately important. 4 if it is somewhat important. So the scale is 1 to 5. So each of these statements, I want you to give a number to each of these statements, and later what you do is you want to see for which factors you give more importance. Okay, so these are the questions number 2, 5, 6, 8, 9, 12. You sum all the numbers you have given to those statements, so that measures hygiene factors. Similarly, question number 1 or statement number 1, 3, 4, 7, 10, 11, whatever numbers you gave next to them, you total all of them. Okay, and then see, so the scores for each of them, hygiene factors may range from 6 to 30. Motivation factors also 6 to 30. So see which one of them you have given more weightage. The next theory, so even Herzberg's theory is a content theory which talks about what factors motivate people. There's another content theory which we are going to see is ERG theory. ERG theory, the full form of ERG theory is existence. E stands for existence, R stands for relatedness, G stands for growth. Okay, so this is called Alderfer's ERG theory. So what this theory says is, this is similar to Maslow's theory of need hierarchy. So in workplace we have many needs. We want good work environment, we need better pay, we need a better boss, we need a meaningful job. So many needs are there. Okay, like you saw in the questionnaire which had many statements, each one of them are needs. We have many needs. So these needs can be classified into 3 types. Existence needs. Existence needs means if those needs are fulfilled, it will help you to stay. It is like survival needs. These fulfillment of these needs will help you survive. Okay, survive in the organization. Relatedness needs means needs related to interacting with people. Okay, with your boss, with your colleagues, with your subordinates, with your customers, with your other stakeholders. So any job, you should have opportunities to interact with people. Let's say you are working alone in a cubicle where there is no option to interact with anyone. You'll get bored, isn't it? You may be working in a meaningful job. You may be having wonderful work environment, but let's say nobody talks to you in the office, or the work doesn't involve talking to people or interacting with people. You will be bored. You'll feel very lonely. So existence needs, when it is satisfied, people move to relatedness needs. So once they get better pay, job security and all, they expect good friendship, good boss, good relationship with co-workers, all those things. And then that is also satisfied. Then people move towards growth needs. Growth needs means the job should be meaningful, the job should give you growth opportunities, the job involves recognition, all those things. So this is like Maslow's theory. One need is satisfied, you move to the next group of needs. That need is satisfied, you go to the next level. But sometimes what happens is, you may not move to the next level, or you go to the next level, there you are not satisfied. What will happen? So that is called frustration. So the dark arrows are, bold arrows are arrows which says you are satisfied and you are moving to the next level. The dotted arrows are you are not satisfied, so you are backwards. You fall back, or you go to the previous level of needs. Okay, so your organization is not offering you growth opportunities. So what will happen? You will go back to relatedness needs. You will try to get satisfied or happy with your friendship. You will not even worry about growth needs. But again, after some time, when relatedness needs are saturated, then again you will go to the growth need. Okay, so this is like a video game. One level you crossed, and then something happened, you fall to the previous level, and that level you mastered or you are complete, you will go to the next level. So the entire thing will happen continuously. So you can see the clear connection between this theory and Maslow's theory. For example, safety and survival needs, which is biological needs, food and thirst, and safety needs are existence needs. Relatedness needs are social needs, which is like acceptance and all those things in Maslow's theory. Growth needs are self-esteem and self-actualization need. Similarly, in Herzberg's theory, existence needs and relatedness needs are hygiene needs, hygiene factors. Growth factors in this theory is similar to motivators, job related factors. Okay, so you can see a connection between all these three theories. Okay, so these three theories which we saw, Maslow's theory, Herzberg's theory and ERG theory, are content theory. So they talk about what factors motivate people in workplace. So now we are going to talk about process theories. So whatever theories from now on we are going to talk about is about process. Process theory means how motivation happens. Okay, so Vroom's theory is a very interesting way of understanding the process of motivation. I'll give an example to explain this. Okay, I have given three terms here, three words here. I will explain these words using an example, live example. Okay. Okay. So you have joined a organization, your first job, and this job there is a award for every month or every quarterly. They give an award once in 3 months. They give an award for best fresher, okay, or best young employee. So you're also young, okay, you joined that organization very recently. So they have an award for best young employee, or something like rising star, something who has the potential to excel. So that is the award. First thing, whether this award will motivate you or not depends on whether you value this award or not. You come to know that every person gets this award in their first 2 years. Okay, so it's not like one award, they give this to many people, and also it's just a certificate and it doesn't have much value in the company. So obviously it will not motivate you. You will not even consider it to be important. It will not make you get attracted towards it or work towards it. Okay, so valence denotes that. Do you value that goal, or do you value that end result? It can be an award, it can be a bonus also. Let's say there is a bonus for certain performers. Okay, and if you don't even value that bonus, you think that bonus is too little or the bonus is not worth it, then you will not even try for that. Okay, so valence is how much value you give to that end goal. Let's assume you value that. Okay, so if the first level is not satisfied, you won't even try. So out of question, it will not motivate you. Let's assume you value that goal. Okay, you want to achieve it. The next question you will ask is, do I have the capacity to show the performance which can lead to the goal? Okay, so let's say the same example of best young employee award. You need to show certain high level of skill set. Okay, you need to come, your attendance should be good, you should show extraordinary performance, certain cutoff level of performance, so that you can, then you will be considered for that. For example, only the top 2% of the young employees will be considered for that award. Consider means even shortlisting, very tough level of shortlisting. Okay, so if the shortlisting is very tough, shortlisting criteria is very tough, and you will ask yourself, will I be able to achieve that level of performance? Okay, so will I be able to perform to that level? If you think, no, I cannot, there are like too many superstars here. Okay, there are too many people who can perform better than me to achieve that goal, then you will not even try. Okay, so this is what is expectancy. Expectancy means, do I have the capability to perform to that level to achieve that goal? Okay, that is expectancy. Third concept is instrumentality. Instrumentality means, yes, I have all the potential, I can perform very well. I have lot of confidence that I can perform to that level. I can perform, but there is favoritism in shortlisting. So you come to know that this particular manager has a favorite subordinate. So this manager is going to shortlist, and you know that this manager don't like you, or he or she has a favorite subordinate, his nephew or niece, or just for an example I'm saying. So obviously, even if you perform, you will not get that award. Obviously, in the sense you think, obviously I'm not going to get even if I perform. So my performance will not lead to the goal. So if you feel that way, again you will lose motivation, you will not try for that goal. Okay, so with this I stop. In the next lecture we will talk elaborately on Vroom's expectancy theory. Okay, we will talk about what will happen and how to what can organizations do to improve these three things among employees and all those stuff. Okay, so till then, take care. We'll meet in the next lecture.